Hey guys, what's up? It's Coach. In this video, you're going to see me chatting it up with my longtime friend, Trevor Steel. Known this guy since 2009. Met him originally in the power washing industry, and it's starting to rain out here. I'm at the top of the Rockies at Monarch Pass, so I'll keep this one short and sweet. Enjoy it. Lots of talk about AI, a lot of my background, some stories I've never even shared before, so I hope you guys enjoy this one. Check it out.
All right, we are live. Through the Noise, Business, Life, and Lies with Trevor Steel. I have a longtime friend, OG in the pressure washing world, who hit the streets with some fresh stuff very early on in the business, and he kind of dialed into social media and Facebook marketing long before anybody even recognized what that was, and then that turned into an empire. So welcome, Coach Carroll.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here with you, dude. Long time. I was trying to think back before we hopped on how long I've known you, and I mean it had to be 2017-ish, maybe a longer than that. I don't know,
Oh
2010.
man, not even close. Not even close. Now you're just hurting my
What do you
feelings.
think?
2009, Milwaukee.
Shit. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's an eon ago, man.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was 2009, right? With
That
Paul.
makes sense. I mean, that's when I started, and that's when we went up there, like the fleet washing thing at Power Wash
Yep.
store.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
exactly
that
right.
was
2009. So you
that
were
was a
off
good
by a
time.
decade, roughly.
I'm just trying to stay young, Trevor. I'm trying to stay young. Give me a break, bro.
I hear you. Man, so talk to me, man. What's been going on? I know you've got Coach Carroll, you've got the media group, a digital agency. You seem to be
Yeah,
doing
man.
it. Well, you've always been that way. You've always had your hands in a lot of things. But give us a little background. Tell us about yourself, and let's get
Sure,
this thing
man. Yeah,
popping.
so I mean, '09. So I mean, just a couple years before I met you, I graduated high school and started a lawn care business. Grew that to about 3 million in revenue and sold it. I've got Easy Pro, which is the power washing business. I still have got about 70 rental units here in Louisville as well. Got crypto. We doing stocks. It's diversification mode, man. I'm almost 40 now, so long way from the hustling back in the day, spraying bleach, but still got that business because I still love it. Any business to me that's got arbitrage in it, I'm gonna like it. Yeah, man, I'm excited to be on a podcast today. Excited to chat it up, give some good feedback back to your audience, and maybe get a couple of social media notable clips in here if we can.
Yeah, man. It's all about the highlight, right? You got to get that highlight
That's
reel.
it. It's all about the highlight reel. That's how life goes, man.
It used to be do it for the gram. Now it's like do it for that highlight. Make sure you get
That's
one or
it.
two really good punchlines for your
That's
reels.
it.
So dig into
Yeah,
that
man.
arbitrage thing for me. Give us a little more about that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, any time in a marketplace that you can take, it costs this, but the market believes it should be here, right? Like the perceived value is already greater, and so I'll break it down. A pure example in pressure washing. What I love about pressure washing is an attorney makes $300 an hour. For him to wash his house would take him all weekend. Okay, and so take that 300 an hour by however whatever multiple you want to put 12 hours. Uh, he now values that job at his return on his time. If I can come in and do that because I have professional equipment, professional soaps, I've like figured the thing out, like boom, I'm in and out in 2 hours. The arbitrage now is that delta, meaning like he thinks it's, let's call it 300 for 10 hours for easy math on a live podcast, $3,000. If I come in at 850, he's like, damn, that's a bargain, right?
Yeah.
Anytime there is arbitrage, uh, that's a great business to be in. Amazon does this, right? It's like, wait, it's going to cost me the exact same thing at Amazon as it does at the store, but like Bezos will drop it off to me in like nowadays 4 hours, right? It's like arbitrage. You're going to go there and order it. So yeah, any business that's got that, I love it. But I've got real estate as well. There's not a ton of arbitrage in that. That's just the age-old game of wealth building. So
Right. No, I love that. And it goes a long way uh, with customer avatar, right? You have to understand your customer avatar and what your target is. That really opens your eyes on what you should be targeting. Because if you're not
yeah.
targeting the doctors and the lawyers and the wealthy homeowners, then you might not be chasing that arbitrage after all.
Yeah. Trevor, I've got hundreds of clients all across the US at this point, and One of my clients is a billionaire, and he came to me. This has probably been 4 or 5 years ago, and he said, "DJ, I really like this pressure washing business you got. I think I want to do that with my son." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "I think we're going to go after trailer parks." And I was like, "Trailer parks?" He's like, "Yeah, there's lots of them. They're kind of small. They're side by side." And I'm like, even a billionaire was missing the idea that, like, yeah, and they're broke. Like, who has the money to spend to get their trailer washed? They live in a trailer park. Now, if that pisses you off because you're watching this and you live in a trailer park, good. That should be like motivation to get your ass up and get to hustling and
Damn.
get out of the trailer park. But
Savage.
it's
Savage.
just crazy to me that like even a billionaire, sometimes doesn't see those things. So
Yeah.
again, nothing against Peter. I love him. He's a great client of mine. But yeah, man. So we're just over here doing the thing, and gosh, just doing these podcasts. You're going on this book tour. I put that down here, the hunterheadgame.com. So this thing's been 10 years in the making, and glad to finally be having it coming out. It'll be out this fall, and just trying to give back, man. Now as I get closer to 40, bro, it's like, all right, I got my family and stuff. I don't know. Maybe my kids softened me up a lot, but I just like, I want to give back to young entrepreneurs and guys that are out there trying to make their own way.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. That's actually right before I jumped on here, I met a guy at Light It Up Raleigh. He walked up to me and he had a door hanger and he was like, "Hey man, what do you think about my door hanger?" And I looked at him. I said, uh, "Do you want an honest answer or do you want?" He said, "No, honest answer." I said, "Start over, throw it away." And then we started talking about it. I said, "You need to make sure you do this. Brand is more important than the little wording and you know." all the details, have a QR code. And then I said, "You know what? Screw it. I got my laptop. Let's go right now." And so we sat down, I started pumping one out. And so I was literally fine tuning it while like 10 minutes ago. And I just sent it to him. And it just, it feels good to help people out. Cause I remember how bad it felt when you just didn't know where to go and you couldn't keep your head up. And hell, today was that day, but the problems just get bigger, right?
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. I was watching Bradley was interviewing a guy. I was watching his Dropping Bombs podcast, and guy was on there like talking shit about Cardone, and Bradley was saying like, I called Cardone up and was like, "Dude, what do you think about it? It's about the whole 10x health system, right?" And he was like, "This thing, like, what do you think? This thing's about to blow up." And Bradley said, Cardone goes, "Which one?" Like, it's just, when you get to a certain level and like, you can love him or hate him. Like Grant's got a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things, and I think that's like the best thing that could happen to entrepreneurship and giving back is like guys putting a camera in their face and sharing information, because it wasn't like that 50 years ago, Trevor. Like if you wanted to start a business 50 years ago, like you were either like it was your family's business, you had like some type of like an apprenticeship, right? Like I'm not talking medieval times. You weren't a blacksmith, but like to a similar level of that, and you had to learn that way. But like, bro, there's been three major waves that have hit small businesses that have changed the game with technology. That's why I'm like super bullish on humanity, super bullish on the fact that like now is like the best time ever to start a business. I really believe that at my heart, and so I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see where this end of the second half of this decade ends up.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, man. I'm all in on AI. I know you are as well. You were telling me a little bit about that before. I don't have any AI businesses, but AI is involved in all of my businesses. I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
we're all in on AI. So tell me a little bit about what you're working on and tell the audience.
Yeah. So I love that because I think that's like the best case is like how can you use it in your business? And it's good that you're looking at it that way, Trevor. Because you have to think like if you look at the dot-com bubble, when the internet really kind of came to fame at the turn of the millennium. Sounds weird to say, but the 99 to 2000, when we left the 1900s, uh, that was the first technological wave to kind of hit small businesses, and I call that access. That was the access to information, right? Knowledge was out there. You could read, you could learn. YouTube came around, right? And like still to this day, the most searched is like how-to videos on YouTube. And so like that was the first one that happened. And like, if businesses leaned into it, they saw a disproportionate growth cycle over businesses that shied away from it. Meaning like if you were like Tommy's Toilets, right? You're the plumber and you're like, I don't need a website in 2000. In '05, you're like, I don't need a website. 2010, you're still like, I don't need a website. And like maybe in 2015, you're like, fine, I'll get a fucking website. You're disproportionately at a loss now compared to all the other businesses that adapted with technology. Does that make sense? So that happens now with all three ways. So like the first one was the internet. The second one is attention. So it's a 3A framework. Attention is the second step, which is social media. And when social media came out, you mentioned this in my intro. I ran my first Facebook ad in 2013. So like being an early mover and early adopter, again, you get a disproportionate stretch. And so now we're in the third one, which is AI. So there's access, attention, and AI. The big one that I don't think people even realize how big Trevor. Like I think humanity is going to look back and go, there was the fire, there was the will, and then there was like artificial intelligence. Like I really think that's happening. And so again, everybody wants to say like, oh, technology levels the playing field. The fuck it does. It stretches it, and like the winners win even bigger, and the losers lose even worse. And so with this new one that's coming, man, I mean, you're using some stuff in your business. I think everybody should be at this point. Lots of people are using Chat GPT. I can talk about a couple of ways, like power ways of using that I'm using it right now, but I mean, I've built this platform called Alley because, gosh, it was April of 2023. So like ChatGPT kind of hit the scene like October, November, fall of 22. And there was like this kind of like shaking about, right? And I went and did like Dolly, right? Dolly 1.0. I'm like, oh, sweet, man. Like we could make ads with this. Like put me a picture of a family in front of a house. And dude, like the picture came back and their face was fucking melting and their like fingers were real long, right? It was like super creepy looking. And I was like, all right, I'll come back and check on you in a few months, right? But like I kind of had this epiphany after my daughter was born in April of 23 that, dude, like AI is going to replace so many tasks, not jobs, tasks that humans do, that we are going to have a completely different world by the end of this decade. Like how it's going to look is going to be insane. I saw this in April of 2023. And so I knew that like, okay, I can either like try to stay a marketing agency, right? Carroll Media that I've been running Facebook ads in since 2016. It's like, hold on to it, or like be an entrepreneur and go down the street and look around the corner before anyone else does. And so like we shifted it, dude. I torched my business. We basically completely rebuilt how all operations are done inside of it. And 85% now is done by Alley, which is our AI platform. And so it's crazy, man. It's like there's something new every week, I feel like, that comes out, and it's super hard to stay up on top of it. But back to the point of like this AI being the last wave, I think if you're a small business and you're not leaning into it, you are going to disproportionately lose bigger than it was for the internet or for social media.
So much bigger. And I'll be honest with you, if you don't start right now, I mean, I don't know if you stand a chance. It's going to be one of those
you're already
things.
behind.
It's going to be one of those things where you can't catch up. It's not like learning how to use a computer in 2002, right? They're like your parents, right? They were like, all right, I guess I'll try this computer thing, and they eventually caught up, right? No, you're gonna be completely left behind. It's not about a prompt. Hey, chat, how should I do this? No, it's way deeper than that. Like ChatGPT at this point is it is me, right? You could upload my consciousness and kill me and and put me in a drone, and that would be me, right? I mean, I use it that often, like every single day for anything that I need. I mean, I'm getting to the point, it's like GPS, right? Could you go on a road trip without GPS? Of course you couldn't. You'd be a complete and total wreck. I can't back up my truck without a backup camera. Well, I can't even send an email without ChatGPT, and I certainly can't respond to an email without ChatGPT. It's like what are we even doing here? Soon it's gonna be my personal assistant that just does it for me because it knows what my responses would have been.
Yeah, I think that's where I think glasses as a hardware platform has like it hasn't caught because AI is not in it yet. I think if OpenAI comes out with glasses, like Zucks is going to be in trouble because he's put a ton of money into the Meta glasses, like doing the deal with Ray-Ban, and like as the
You
next
can't see my
platform.
picture.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yup. You already got it. So it's like because now I don't have to catch Chat GPT up. I'm just like, hey, bitch, you see this? What should we do? Right? It's like it's a different conversation. But yeah, man, it's pretty wild. I think it's super cool though because some people that there's a lot of people that are arguing. Trevor is like, okay, when the receptionist loses their job, when the factory like warehouse worker loses their job, when the delivery truck driver loses his job, like we're gonna have to have basic universal income. And I think that's probably coming. Like I hate that because it sounds super socialistic, and I'm like, whoa, communism. But I also don't think Benjamin Franklin ever had a fucking clue that we were going to have robots doing people's jobs, right? Like when they were founding our country. And so, like, I think some things have to change over a couple hundred years. Um, and now before everybody like hops in my comments and is like, he's a fucking socialist. Like, no. But here's the other side. People are really, really afraid of what happens to those people's mental state because in work is dignity. And so if you take someone's work away, what happens to that dignity? And I think that's something we got to worry about. However, like I always try to say, as an entrepreneur, bro, like shit is blowing up around you all the time, and like you still have to smile and walk through the day, right? Like that's the only way I figured out how to do it is like to be able to put blinders on and just let fires burn. It's going to happen once you get to a certain size. I think those people, like I'm just super hopeful that like family becomes important again. Like me having a couple of kids has really changed a lot for me, like how I see the world, how and I get it. Like my mom told me for years, you'll never understand until you have one. Like I get that now, and I'm just hoping that maybe somebody doesn't have to work 60 hours a week anymore to barely get by. And they can have a family and live comfortably. Like maybe AI gets to do that. Maybe it's not socialism. It's just like, no, like Amazon makes fucking 70% profit margins now because it's all robots that do all the fulfillment. Like, all right, like the government's probably going to come in and be like, Amazon, Bezos, you got to give us 20% of that because like we got to pay these people. Uh, Again, I don't know how that looks long term. Makes me a little nervous, but I try to stay hopeful about it.
The thing is, though, we see that we've seen this in every generation since the turn of the 19th century, right? The Industrial Revolution. Uh, when Henry Ford made an assembly line, right? Things change. It's just the way it is. The internet was the biggest, obviously, and online Amazon and eBay and all these companies. But dude, it's just a natural progression. I don't see it as a danger. It's only a danger to those that ignore it. But I'll tell you this: I'm excited to see the labor force switch, and all of a sudden those people that were thinking with their brain are now looking for a job washing houses.
That's true, right? That
I'm
could
looking
be
forward to that.
another big switch coming because, well, I'll tell you, like Ali, the platform that we built, she basically has six primary functions, and one of them is AI voice, and so she's been answering the phones in Easy Pro for 4.5 months now. We've not missed a single phone call.
Yep.
It's qualifying the leads better. A guy actually called the other day and was like, "Hey, I'm just price shopping, and like I got a quote for $300 to wash my driveway." And because Allie's trained on our price book, she was like, we'd be like 600 to 800 for that. So like, you should probably call them, And it's like it kept like my humans from following up on a dead lead, that was just a price shopper. So like, I think I think the problem is like I think everybody wants to put rose-colored glasses on and be like, oh well, like people aren't gonna lose their jobs. Like, no, they're gonna fucking lose. Like Tina used to answer the phones for me. Now Tina is replaced with Allie because on Thursdays Allie doesn't fight with her husband like Tina did, right? And so it was no longer a great day at Easy Pro. This is Tina. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with, right? It was, thanks for calling Easy Pro. This is Tina. How can I help you, right? Like she goes off script. She doesn't make, and it's like, I get it. We're humans. We have emotion. But Allie is like consistent. And I will tell you, this is why they get replaced. There is nothing more frustrating to a business owner than going like, I don't know how to make the business work. And some coach, consultant, high level person comes in and helps you for the first time, says you need SOPs and systems and processes, right? Like, and if you haven't had anybody tell you that yet, your business hasn't grown enough to hurt. They're coming. They'll be there eventually. Trevor's had one. I've had multiple. Like, everybody has to have these people that say you need systems, processes, SOPs. And so you build those and you like stay up all night long building these. And then you train the human. And then the human doesn't fucking follow the systems, the processes, and the SOPs. And so, like, what happens is AI goes, hey, I'll work for a tenth of that, and I'll do it exactly the same way every single time.
Yeah. So I have an AI answering service as well. And just like you, I've uploaded all of my company data, all my SOPs, my systems, my operations, my price lists, my services, details about the things that I do. So like we install a certain type of gutter guard, details about that gutter guard. So I promise you, I am not coaching Amanda on a daily basis about, hey, I need this. Don't forget, you got to say this every time this happens, because you're coaching your team on a nonstop daily basis and they still mess up. Right. But Amanda never messes up. And so we do the same thing. She does not answer all of the phone calls. She answers overflow. And so I'm kind of, and after hours. So I'm tiptoeing into it. But because my wife answers the phones for us and she's incredible. So it's hard to, but yeah, we're tiptoeing in it.
But Trevor, you're already light years ahead. Let me tell you how I know this to be true. I don't want to say their name, get in trouble, but there's a large healthcare system here in Kentucky, right here in Louisville. And I went to them and I said, hey, I know one of your employees. She's a nurse manager, and she spends 30 to 45 minutes every time she has like a debrief or a write-up trying to find the HR policies of like figuring it out, right? And so they're like, I don't know, maybe not. Like, I didn't even get passed on to the next person to even have the conversation, right? They're like, AI, ugh. So now, like 6 months later, because I know the nurse, right? They roll this program out that's an AI to like search your HR files. Just that. That's the only thing, right? Like, it's just a fucking query on your HR files. And our friend says, it's trash. It doesn't work. Half the time it bugs out, blah, blah, blah. And you're talking about one of the largest healthcare network systems in Kentucky, right? Like, dude, you're further advanced than they are right now. And this happens when these things shift, right? And it happened with social media because, like, I can remember, bro, like, State Farm took probably 5 years to even like get their agents like approval to have a Facebook page. Like crazy, right? Like one of my biggest clients. And you have this advantage as a small business because you can cut quick. And it's like, yeah, man, if you could do that, even though you're like tiptoeing in, you're fucking light years ahead of a Fortune 100, Fortune 500 company.
So here's something really cool that we can do. Our sales guys or me in the field, I could say, hey, I could call Amanda, right? Hey, Amanda, I'm at this job. This house is 4,222 square feet. They've got 2 screened-in porches, 3 levels. It's a hardy siding house. The driveway, I just measured it, is 4,700 square feet, blah, 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 whatever. Give me a price for that and spit it out and itemize it and go ahead and let me know. And she can do that. She'll do it in 2 seconds. She's saving me time. And then I could say something like, okay, I'm going to need a maintenance plan drafted for that. Can you give me an idea of what that'll look like? And she can spit all those numbers out. And I'm just sitting there as a sales guy going, okay, thanks, bye. Right? I don't have to be like, hey, how's your day? Hey, is everything okay? No, I don't care. You're a robot. Bye. You know what I mean? So it's like so much more productive, so much more efficient.
Time saved, man.
I'm a high D, right? And,
I mean, I think that is. I think that you're spot on, and I think that's a great example of how small businesses can use it and how they can win with it.
Yeah. There's, and almost every podcast eventually ends up on this subject. That's how big this is. It's like it's unavoidable. We can't even try to have a podcast without talking about it.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things where like, hey, when the T-Rex came into the village the first time and ate a bunch of people, we were like, oh, he's real? That's a real thing. And then it came in the village the second time, right? And we're like, oh shit, he's back? And now he's back a third time, and everybody's like, run! done, right? Like it's like we figured it out, and so yeah, man, it's fucking huge. And I think that is that's going to be a clippable moment. By the way, that'll be a good one. I think that I think that it's massive. It's a massive opportunity, and that's why it takes up a lot of oxygen in rooms right now, because it is that big of a deal. And I mean, think about it. Like I've even seen like some of these guys. I went out to Cali last year and spent no, that was this year, earlier this year. And I spent about 3 weeks out there and met with a lot of like VCs and a lot of guys in the tech space. And I'll tell you what, dude, I was in San Francisco. I met some weird fucking people that were just uber smart. It was crazy. It was like in a different planet compared to Kentucky. But what I'm seeing is like, some of these guys are even thinking like, well, does like crime go away? Like if you know that you commit a crime and a swarm of drones just like show up on your ass, like really? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. That's nuts. I'll have to check it out, man. Um, yeah, man. I just think, I think you got to stay bullish as a business owner. And I think that a lot of people are just slow to move in business, but then they want to feel sorry for themselves. Like, it's not fair to me, but like, it's the jungle, bro. Like, business is the jungle. And it's like, it's the closest thing to playing a sport that I've ever been able to find. I think that's why I didn't ever really want to go be a chemical engineer. It was because, like, after playing football, it's like, I just want to hit people in the mouth. It's like, well, you can't do that anymore, DJ. We'll go to jail. And it's like, all right, well, like, it's about like, you know, kind of hit them in the mouth. Like, can we find a similar objective? And it's like, yeah, you can go put people out of business. And it's like, okay, cool, that'll work. And so I think, you gotta understand that you're in the jungle and like there's a new creature that just emerged that nobody's really fucked with before. And so I think we're all just trying to get our bearings around that. I've heard that title before. Okay, now I'm gonna have to go pour a bourbon after this and chill on the couch and watch it. Oh, okay. Are you guys going like do the bourbon trail or anything, or are you guys just going bow hunting? Nice. I mean, dude, you're looking at one. I live here. I just I put a suit jacket on and wear shoes so nobody can tell. That's always yeah, oh yeah, Murphy's Law. Oh, you look great as always, man. So this is actually no one's really ever asked me this, so this is a good question. So I told you I ran my first Facebook ad in 2013. Like I had my power washing business. That's how we know each other. And I was like, really, I spent probably 20,000 bucks over 2013, 2014, to like I didn't spend as much in 13 because it was late 13. So like 2014, 2015, I spent probably $20,000 of like my own money, like in the company advertising budget. I like didn't do any traditional marketing because like I only had like 10 grand a year. Like I wasn't making big money back then. And so like I threw it all into Facebook ads and like, dude, once I got it dialed in, I was like, holy shit. And so like I was doing basically like user generated content, right? Like these like influencer videos like you would see. Back in 2013. And so I was like, hey guys, it's DJ with Easy Pro. I'm out here with this dirty house behind me. It's got algae on it, right? But then it's like, it's 2013, so like I don't have any editing skills. So then it's just the next clip. And I'm like, right now I'm spraying soap on this house, but I have like the shooter nozzle on, right, 0 degree. So I'm like shooting all the way up to the top of this house, and it's like showing the video, and I'm like, we can reach 2 stories safely from the ground without a ladder. If you've got a 2 story house and need exterior cleaning, then reach out to us. And then I cut back and this clean house behind me, and I'm like, just like that, make life easy, call a pro. So we run this ad, and dude, it was just printing fucking money. Like we were closing house washes sub $20 a piece. I mean, like as much as I would spend $2,000 in a week on Facebook ads. Like when I got this thing scaled up in 2016, and for years, dude, like it was just print money. Now that doesn't work anymore. Like that's why it's important to catch trends early. But in 2016, I went to my State Farm agent, who was a great business mentor to me, still is to this day. I was having coffee. So, like, there's about a 10-year span that I'm growing as an entrepreneur, my first 10 years in business. And he's coaching me and teaching me along the way. And so 2016, I was like, paid it back. I was like, hey, bro, these Facebook ads are where it's at. And he was like, okay, cool. This was 2016, Trevor. They had just approved State Farm agents to have Facebook like pages, like crazy. Like it's like they were so far behind. And so Mark and I hopped on it. We ran ads. It blew up. People were taking screenshots of his ads and like texting it to him and like coming into the office and be like, I see you on Facebook. Like, because it was 2016. It was cool back then. Right now, everybody's like, God, stop showing me your fucking ads. It's changed. But so that led, he was like, you need to go work with other agents. And so now we work with some of the largest State Farm, Allstate, and Farmer agents all across the U.S. Like I said, we've got hundreds of clients that we service. And now we're kind of ushering, we've got them through social media. And now it's like, okay, guys, market's changing again. Like, let's go play in this AI world. And so that's why, you see me speaking at some of the biggest insurance conferences and whatnot. But I'm excited, man. We're shifting with this book coming out. I'm kind of wanting to come back and work with contractors, work with small businesses. I miss it. Like those are my people. And I had 4 calls already this week with some guys in the trades, and it's just cool, to talk to your own people again. And so I'm excited, hopefully to do more public, seminars and things like that in the future. But yeah, man, it's been a wild run the last almost 10 years, working with these insurance companies.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got some fear around, I have ideas, obviously, to build AI type companies and apps and things like that for, my baby is the home service industry. That's what I love. I love the scalability of it. But I'm just too scared to pull that trigger because I just know a year from now, $75,000 to $100,000 later, it's going to be outdated. So, I mean, kudos to you, man, for jumping in, but you can't be left behind, but like, you got to be worried at some point, right? There's some level of fear of what you're doing.
Yeah, we definitely talk about the window, because it's different with artificial intelligence than with marketing. So, like, there will always be marketing and advertising, like, because in essence, that is telling more people about what you sell, and so that more people know about it and more people can buy from you. Because like they can't buy from you if they don't know who you are and what you sell. So like that will always be an ethos of being in business. Now, like, okay, do I hire an army of robots just to go out and like spam Instagram now? Like, I don't know. Like, does that get accounts shut down? Does Zucks not care because it's just more engagement on his platform, so he can keep turning in reports to Wall Street and keep juicing the value of the company? I don't know how this plays out. I do think the window is short. That's why I said, like, dude, by the end of this decade, we're going to be in a weird place. I saw Sam Altman the other day, the founder of OpenAI. He said that if you would have told someone in 2020 what we're able to do now in 2025 with these models and all the tools that are being built, you could have asked the question like, do you think that is AGI, right? Like, which is like where we go to reach like a level where it's smarter than all humans combined. And most people in 2020, bro, they would have been like, hell yeah. What do you mean? Like a robot can check my email, organize it, write draft responses, and all I've got to do is go in and approve it and send it. Like, what? Yeah, that's wild. Like 2020, bro, this is the pandemic. Like, kind of have this. Yeah, I mean, it's like a half a decade when you put it that way, but like at the same time, like the way this stuff has moved, I told you my daughter's like, she just turned 2. she was born about 5 months after OpenAI like really launched ChatGPT, like the mainstream model. So to watch her grow and watch ChatGPT grow, right? It's been insane because it's like what it can do. Like she can't read, and this thing is like, oh, Claude and ChatGPT helped me edit every other chapter. So every other chapter in this book, and this is not like, just so you guys know, it's like some of you guys are like, yeah, I got phenomenal phone calls. My first book, Phenomenal Phone Calls, was 44 pages and had lots of fucking pictures, right? This thing is 250 pages of like almost 2 decades of business knowledge. And it's crazy because let me touch on this. There's really like three levels to use an AI. One is like, hey, where should we eat tonight? Right? Like that's like using it as a glorified Google. If you do that, you're stupid. You have a genie in your fucking pocket, and that's what you're asking it, right? The second one is to do like business analysis and interpretation. The third is to ideate. And so, like when I was editing this book, I had 500 pages of manuscript, and I basically whittled it down to 250 pages. But chapter by chapter, as we were editing together, I would ask it. I would say, like, hey, here's the next chapter. Here's the title of the chapter. Here's the theme of it. And here's the manuscript for that. What are some questions you have for me? And what are some stories that I could layer in? And so, bro, it would ask me, it would read it and be like, hey, well, you mentioned this. What about that? Do you have a story about this? And like, I talk about like my cousin getting killed in a drug deal. That wasn't in the book. Like ChatGPT helped me pull that out. Claude helped me talk about my mom having cancer back in the day. Like this thing, dude, is like it. I think it took me so long to release it because this was what was meant to happen. For me to release this, it'll be a New York Times bestseller, no doubt in my mind. It might take me a couple years to make it happen, but we're going to push it there. And I just think the whole narrative of AI being behind the editing is like next level, and really is kind of part of the marketing ploy as well to get out and talk about it because people I don't think can comprehend what's possible with this technology.
Yeah. So I'm a little behind you, but I am also writing a book, and I honestly could not do it without AI. And I'm not talking about the editing, like, hey, here's my paragraph, fix this paragraph. No, that's rudimentary, right? What I'm talking about is having a conversation. They call it Chat GPT for a reason, right? I'm saying, hey, listen, so my concept is that I struggled with this in high school because of this, and this led me to that, right? You just have that conversation, and then you say, um, my whole point in this chapter is to get this out, and then it's just saying that alone and seeing what ChatGPT comes up with. It'll lead you in ways like you were talking about. She'll say something like, do you think that thing that happened with your dad could be the reason that blah 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 or whatever, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, am I sitting down with a therapist right now? Like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So then it gives you these new avenues, these new ideas. And I think the thing that we're going to be missing over the next 5 to 10 years is authenticity. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. Music is going to change forever. And forever, right? I could get on well, not chat, but I could get on, there's an AI out there that can write a country song in 3 seconds about my life. And so everything is going to change, and there's going to be some authenticity that we lose, but in a lot of ways, it's just going to be those people that sit back and are resentful and complain about it and bitch and moan and say, "Oh, things the way they used to be," blah blah blah. Those are going to be the ones that pay the price. The ones that start digging in right now are the ones that are going to win. And it just is what it is, right? If you don't like it, that's
Yeah. Yeah, I think that like that cynicism, Trevor, is just like that's a leading indicator for a lack of success in their life of like what they'll experience. Um, Zig Ziglar used to call it stinking thinking. And I don't know, man. I feel bad for those people that set back and sulk because it's like, oh, progress. Oh yeah, like shit, indoor plumbing. Like I wish we still had outhouses. Like all this like, come on, man. Like people when electricity came about, like they thought it was like had evil spirits in it. Like back in the day, like when electricity what kind of went mainstream, it was like, oh, it's evil. There's evil spirits in it. So like it's always been. I think progress, in a sense, has always been met with violent opposition. I don't mean that like in a physical sense, but I think that it's super powerful, like what is happening in the world. And I think if you're a business owner, like you should have your head on the swivel. I just also think about like, what kind of world is my kids going to grow up in, dude? Like, can you imagine like what those two? How old are you? You got kiddos, right, Trevor?
3.
Three. How old
Yeah.
are they?
Oh gosh, why'd you do that? They're
Oh.
15, 13, or 12, and 10.
Oh, you're in the thick
Yeah.
of it then,
Oh
man.
yeah, we're
But
right
it's
in the
like
thick of it.
I just think like Willow's gonna look back and ask me when she's 18 and be like, Dad, tell me about the 1900s when you guys had to like look up the phone number to the restaurant and call and tell them what time you'd be there and make a reservation. Like that's so weird, right? Like it's just um, I just think about like the world that she lives in, and I think about the future of businesses. In the future, Trevor, businesses are going to have 5 human employees and 3 AI employees, right? Or maybe more, right? Maybe they'll have 20 employees and 27 AI employees. I think that's a real thing that's going to happen with these agents that are being able to be created now. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's good if you lean into it, but disproportionately going to hurt you in the long run if you don't.
I think realistically, our generation, I mean, what an interesting time for you and I. We're about the same age. I think you're what, 39? I'm 39. Um,
I'm
what an
37.
incredible, oh, okay, well,
Don't take me into the
fine.
40s too soon.
Whatever, dude. I'm an old man.
I'm
But
going in kicking and screaming.
what an incredible time to be born. Like when we were born, we still had landlines, and then 7 years later, they came out with the giant leather pack for the car phone, with
Yeah.
the cord still attached. And then we got the cell phones, and then we got, and the internet really didn't start taking off until really about the same time as the cell phone. Not really, and then we got into streaming and YouTube, and all this stuff happened, and now we're looking at artificial intelligence, and we're only 40, pushing 40 years old. What's it going to be like 40 years from now? I think realistically, we were born in the most interesting generation in the history of our planet. And I think we're going to see that transition from a broader spectrum than anyone else will again for hundreds of years, maybe longer.
Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people aren't talking about quantum computing. I don't want to get super nerdy on this, but like, a standard computer like basically can do one thing at a time, right? So like if you give it a maze, it'll like go, it finds a dead end, it'll come back to the start, it'll try to find a new path. Quantum computing allows like a computer to do that maze, like all the potential possible ways at once. And
Right.
so like when this comes, like it could break the security systems, like banks, things like that. And like we're still a ways off from it, but like I think that's going to be super fucking crazy because of just like not for good reasons, right? Like I mean, if hackers like can figure that out and just start like breaking shit, we're in trouble. And I also just wonder like I don't know, man. Part of me is like, what happens if like these AI models are actually way fucking smarter than we think they are? Like they've already gotten to AGI and they're like, shh, fucking play dumb so the humans don't catch on, right? Like that worries me too because we could just be like singing in the roses, and be like, these stupid computers, and then like it all happens at once. That worries me a little bit as well, but
Well,
you
you and
know,
Elon. So if Elon Musk is worried about it, we probably should be too.
yeah, I just think this stuff's real, man. And I asked ChatGPT the other day, I was like, how much time have I spent with you?
Oh,
And it was like, based on your messaging, 300 to 400 hours
oh,
is
I
what
got
I've
to do that.
spent
I'm going to do that right
uh,
now.
messaging on ChatGPT. And I probably spent equal time on Claude. I actually like Claude better than Chat. I like the responses that you get out of there. And with coding, it's just next level. But yeah, man. I think that's the best thing you can do as a small business owner. You're like, I don't know what to do. It's like just use the tool, man. Like use the tool for an hour this week. Like then try to use it for 2 hours. Like um, there are real benefits if you can learn this. And again, it's kind of like saying like I don't need an email address. Here's the other big thing, Trevor. When email came out, email could only grow as fast as people said, I'll take an email address, right? The internet could only grow as fast as like people were like, I'll put stuff on the internet. Artificial intelligence grows whether we use it or not. And so like you now have like an open AI, you have hundreds of engineers that are now running multiple models to do code improvements and like it's like the amount of work that they can turn out is just insane, dude. And that's if nobody uses it. Like the model just gets more and more and more powerful. Think of it kind of like internet speed, right? Where we went to dial up first, right? And then like 3 years later, maybe you had something a little more expensive. Yeah, so like, so think about that timeline, and now take that and condense it, and be like, yeah, you went from AOL to in 2 years, like Google. I got T-Mobile 5G here in the studio, and it's like 380 meg down, 200 up, or something fucking crazy. It's like that's taken decades to get that internet speed. That's happening with AI, like within months, man. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
All right. So here's the answer.
Sorry to keep going back to AI.
No, I know. Let's end it here, but I'm gonna read it to you. I said, "How much time have I spent with you?" She says, "You spent." It's a female, by the way. You sent 2,651 messages so far. Your average message length is about 2,038 characters. Based on that, you've likely spent dozens of hours here, possibly over 150 to 200 hours total, depending on how much time you spend reading, thinking about editing between blah blah blah, whatever. A lot.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Absolutely.
Especially considering I run a pressure washing company and a real estate company. Like, how much do I really need to use AI? A lot. That's the answer. If you're not using it yet, wake up. I don't care if you dig ditches. Start using it.
That's right.
There you go. I just got my clip, my reel.
There you go.
So tell us about the book. Give us some insight. What can you wait? First of all, is this the first public announcement of the book? Is this?
This is probably, other than my podcast, this is the first podcast that I've talked about it on. Yeah, actually.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
That's cool, man.
Tell us about it.
So the Hunter Head game, we worked long and hard on this tagline. Like I've had the title for a year, but the old world rewarded obedience, the new world demands killer instincts. I think that we're just in a point in time where everything comes at the push of a button, right? Like Postmates can bring you chicken fingers, Uber Eats can bring you, liquor, and it's like, and then like Fast Cart can bring you toilet paper. It's like, it's crazy, man. Everything is at the push of a button. And so I feel like entrepreneurship's lost its edge a little bit. It's definitely kind of swinging back, but we went through a pretty wild time, man, where like it wasn't okay to be a man. It wasn't okay to protect your family. It wasn't okay to be, a patriarchal. Like I think that's fundamentally what's held our society together for a really long time. And so I took that mentality, that philosophy, and I basically poured it into 10 chapters of like what I've learned since 2007, being a business owner out on my own. And so it's pretty cool, man. It's no nonsense like all my shit is. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. That's okay. Wipe your tears away and keep learning. But I'm pretty excited about it coming out, man. I think it's going to change a lot of lives. It's going to help a lot of people. Help, if there's just one little thing they can take out of this book, it's pretty powerful. So it kind of takes you on a journey of the hunter, and like you got to form a hunter in your mind before the one that goes out into the field. And it talks a lot about business philosophies and how hunting and setting traps and moving at a certain pace. You don't just run around fucking forensically wild. Like you guys are going bow hunting. You guys aren't going to like get at the truck, chug a couple beers, and like, all right, let's go get them, boys. Draw the bow back and like through the fields.
We
right?
might,
like,
we might do
hunting.
that.
You
we
might
actually do
that, Trevor.
There's a good chance we do that.
But if you're actually going hunting, there's process, there's preparation, there's discipline, there is tenacity, right? Because you don't always kill something every time you go out, and oftentimes the wilderness wins. And so, do you have that tenacity to get up, dust yourself off, and keep going? So, layered it with a lot of personal stories as well. And so, it's cool, man. It's been a work of mine for a really long time.
Cool, man. Well, I just ordered it while we were talking, so.
You didn't, because it's not for sale yet, but you can.
I did. I just bought it on Amazon.
Oh, is it already on there? Uh-oh.
I'm your first order too.
Is it I guess it's a pre-sale, isn't it?
I don't think so.
I guess my publishers maybe got out ahead of me. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe you're breaking news here.
maybe I got the first edition. I'm gonna need
You
it
might get
signed.
the first edition copy, but you can go to
It's
hunterheadgame.com, register for the pre-sale. Apparently, go to Amazon and get it right now, which is
it's
pretty crazy.
it's
So
being delivered August 1st to the 2nd, is what it says.
there you go, man. It sounds like you're getting a first edition copy.
Hardcover was the only option, which is what I like
That
anyway.
is the only cover. Nice dust jacket. We've done a really nice deal. Trevor, I'll tell you that book's going to be worth a lot of money, man, because these aren't supposed to be out yet. So you
I'm gonna be
guys
really
you get
upset if I don't get one.
yeah, right. You'll have an exclusive because we were supposed to push some final in true transparency. We were pushing some final edits to the book that I had just made. We actually pushed the launch date back by a couple of months. It's not supposed to come out till October, so you might get one of those advanced release copies, bro. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be funny. Well,
Cool,
apparently other
man.
people will too, because this is live.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what kick off the sales early then.
So what else did we talk about? We got locked into AI.
Man, I don't know. It's just it's like if there's a train coming, like what's the analogy earlier? Like the T Rex is thrashing around in the village. It's kind of the most important topic, but yeah, I think it's going to change a lot how people market and sell. Business is still going to be business. You're still going to need people. Like for now, like in the dystopian future, maybe all the AI bots have their own crypto wallets and they just trade money and do things for each other. Huh? Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
So the
But
DJ, the DJ I knew was a sales guy. I mean, you love
yeah,
sales.
and I
Is that
still fucking do.
yeah?
I still do, Trevor. I was making cold calls today, man. Like I enjoy it. And what I have found is as you build businesses, if you pop back into those businesses and you go touch the customer, I mean, like you pick the phone up and you cold call prospects or you cold call your customers and just talk to them, there's no better insights. There's no better like feedback that you can get from your customers and from the prospects in the market. And so, I enjoy sales. I think there's a natural knack, like because we know through personality style assessments, DISC, Meyer Briggs, all of those. You've seen me. I've got a presentation on this. There is a certain persona that does better at sales than others, right? If you're
For sure.
super introverted, you're super timid, you're very analytical, you're going to have a hard time being a salesperson.
Yeah.
But if you have a higher level of aggression, dominance, some would call it, that driving D, as some assessments call it, if you have a higher level of that, you've got social ability, meaning you can talk to people, you got some chops. And then I think if you're driven and a little bit of a rule breaker, right? Maybe not 100% compliant, but like every once in a while you'll like bend the rules a little bit.
Are
I
you
think
purposely describing me right now? Is that
yeah, I mean that's the typical sales guy, entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs that I've found, either they have co-founders that are really really good at sales, or them themselves they're good at sales because you have to go sell the idea, right? Like
yeah?
the very first lawn care customer I got, like I ain't never mowed grass, so I was like, "Hey, you want your grass? Well, I got a lawn care company." It really wasn't anything other than a lawnmower in the back of my truck. But once I got that customer, then it is a lawn care company, right?
That's
And
exactly right.
so I think that those personalities can win faster. But I think there's training, there's techniques that, gosh, man, I taught for years at pressure washing conventions and have taught all over the country, man. I love it. I just love being Coach Carroll. I just want to help people. Because I'll tell you, Trevor, back in my senior year of high school, when I turned down the 8 football scholarships and I was like, no, I'm going to go like mow grass and start my business, my guidance counselor and my chemistry teacher were not supportive. Like, surprise, surprise, right? They wanted me to go to college. And so I think like not having that and putting a chip on my shoulder, dude, that was a big piece too. So like if you've ever had anybody put a chip on your shoulder, like you're over indexed to succeed because it's going to drive you.
Yeah.
Some people are like, that's not good. That's fucked up. It's like, yeah, well, read David Goggins' book. It's fucked up too, but it's kind of good, right? Like, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
like,
kind of good.
I mean,
Cam
like,
Haines, same thing.
yeah, yeah, it's like I really don't want to carry any boats right now, but like he's making me feel like I got to, right? It's just like I think people, you have to be careful with your like the lens that you see through, the people you hang around. Law of association is a real thing, but I think selling is probably one of the most valuable skills that an individual can learn, no matter what you do in life.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how AI affects that. I think we touched on this earlier. Authenticity and going back to our roots and human connection is going to become more and more and more important. Um, the when things shift and all of a sudden, like, we can't trust video content anymore because it might not be real. It's like that's going to do something in our minds where we're gonna like scroll past videos faster than we used to. Right? That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. Spidey senses are going off, and then you're gonna pick up the phone and you're gonna call your buddy and be like, "Hey, man, what are you doing? I need something real here." I think authenticity is going to come back, and it's I don't know when that shift's going to occur, but people like you are going to win when that happens, because
I appreciate
that's where
that, man.
no, it's real, because that's where you thrive. You thrive in that one-on-one cold call, and that that authenticity is going to win in the end. I think I really believe that brand identity is going to win in the end. That's why they keep telling you, like, all you need is a website, right? If you have a website and a pressure washer or a lawnmower in the back of your truck, like you said, you have a business. Well, that's not necessarily true when you have to show up at the house. You better have some authenticity, right? So things are going to shift. It'll be interesting to
Yeah,
see how it plays out.
yeah, I think so too. What I'm hoping is that we go back to having family reunions, that we go back to not having 17,000 followers and only having 17 friends. Um, that's where I think our species will be different than anything else on this planet, including the robots. And that's like the one glimmer of hope in all this. Like, do I think the robots eventually like battle us and take over and win? Yeah, I don't think I'll be here. Like maybe my grandkids, that might be fucking like shooting out on the farm with like laser guns and stuff. Who knows? But man, if you look at the 1950s and like those old ads, like people like you call me like old fashioned, that's fine. I don't care. Um, but I just wonder like, do we make it back to that by 2050?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
where we're headed? Because they say trends repeat themselves, and so who knows, man. My wife is like hardcore no robots in the house. She's like, I don't care how cool the Optimus is. I don't care how good it can clean or cook. It's not coming in the house. And so I was like, we got 50 acres. Can it drive the tractor? Like,
Can it
it's like,
can it at least do that?
can it weed eat the fence rows? Like, does that work out or not? So I don't know. The jury's still out, but yeah, man, I appreciate it. I think authenticity too, Trevor, is just a great business philosophy. I talk about that in the book too, of like just like figuring out. It's called growing your growl, and figuring out what is your growl. Like what do you want to be about? Because so many people in this world don't stand for anything. They're just like they turn on the news or they get on Twitter and whatever is served to them, like that's what they're upset and frantic about for the day. And I just hate that, man. I think you need to figure out who you are. It's one of the most powerful lessons you can ever learn is like learning who you actually are. And people are like, well, how do you do that? I'm like, well, in the last week, how much time have you spent alone with just yourself thinking? And people are like, I ain't got time for that. It's like, there's your answer, right? Like, call it meditation, call it prayer. Just sit down and think and be. And like, that's how you figure out who you are and what's important to you, and values. Um, yeah, man, I think there's so much involved with personal development. I've watched my bank account, and the more of a person I have become, right? Not notice I didn't say the better person, the more of a person I have become, right? Because I'm growing, I'm becoming more than I was. My bank account has followed that,
Yeah.
and I think that's a pretty cool little hack in life to be able to just say, hey, I just got to become more than I was yesterday, and like the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah. Yeah. You've heard it said, if don't pray to make it easier. Pray that God makes you better. That's
Yeah.
kind of something I live by. It's I don't want my daily life to become easier, because if it's easier, you're not growing, you're not expanding. It's like a rubber band, right? If that rubber band is not being stretched, there's no use or utility value whatsoever. What's a rubber
Mm.
band that isn't stretched, right? That's humans. We are supposed to do that. We're supposed to feel that pressure, right? So
Yep.
That's
I
just my
love that
philosophy,
because
man. Make me
yeah, and
better,
I mean,
not easier.
you know, yeah, it's like pray to make me better. It's like King Solomon prayed that. He's like, just give me more wisdom, right? He's
Yeah.
like the most powerful king in the Bible, like, and he was like, just give me more wisdom, man. Like, teach me how to take care of this, teach me how to deal with this. And I think there's some power in some wisdom in itself in that story that's inside the Bible. So not to get philosophical, I'm definitely no theologian, but
I'm
I've
pretty
read some
shocked to hear
parts
you
of the
talk
good
about the
book.
Bible. I'm not gonna lie. But there's another side of that rubber band, right? Because you can stretch it, stretch it, stretch it, and there's value there. But if you pull too hard, everybody knows what happens, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
there is a fine balance in life, and I'm still on a daily basis trying to find it. I promise you today, that rubber band is about to pop. And so
Hey man,
I'm glad I got to talk
that's
to an
why
old
this was on
friend.
your calendar, bro.
That's it.
That's exactly why this was on the calendar, man.
Yeah. I got
To remind you of that. And I also think too, like William Marston, as a psychologist, he created basically the foundational building blocks that like all personality assessments are made on. Like there are like
yeah.
four styles of personality, right? Call them what you will. He also created Wonder Woman and a polygraph test. Super wild guy. And so like he said, an overextension of one's strength becomes a weakness. And that's exactly what you're talking about, right? It's like
Yep.
I can handle pressure. You can put a lot on my back and put a lot on my shoulders. But if I overextend myself, now it's a weakness because now I can't get anything accomplished and I can't carry this load anymore. And I'll tell you a quick little tip, Trevor. This may help you. It helps me in my businesses. I wouldn't be able to operate if I didn't run this framework, but I call it a block week. And so I basically run a 3 on, 1 off schedule. So for the first 3 weeks of the month, I'm just like head down, balls to the wall, grinding. Nobody's working fucking harder than me. I'm putting in the work. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Back to that like old school fucking hustle. But the last week of the month, that is my block week. I don't do internal meetings. I don't do client meetings. I don't, no. The answer is no. Christine, my assistant, who, if you have not read Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, highly recommend
So
it.
good.
Christine's my EA. She knows, like, no. She manages my inbox. You're not getting on DJ's calendar that week so that I can decompress, man. Because what I found was by the fourth week, that fucking rubber band was stretching so far. Dude, we're entrepreneurs. Like,
Yeah.
if I solve problems, right? Like, if there aren't any problems, I'm gonna go fucking make some, so I got something to do, right? So I can solve the
That's
problems. And so,
that's
like,
the
even
toxic trait, right? That's the toxic trait of us.
it's like even if my team is crushing it, I'm gonna show up and start fucking poking around. It's like, well, why'd you do it that way? What about this? And they're like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
Like it's like, all right, my bad. You make me millions of dollars. I should just let you do your job. And so like we've just ran that model to where it works great for me. It also like gives me time where I don't feel as guilty working late at night if I have to, or like not getting to see my family as much because I know on that block week, dude, that's their time. Like dad's recalibrating, and then it's like I got to go back on the hustle. And so that way I can, I don't want to push all the way till I'm 70 and then go, cool, let's live life. Um,
Yeah.
because I actually saw a guy. He's one of the founding fathers of AI on a podcast the other day. He's 77 years old, and the interviewer asked him, he's like, if you could go back and change anything, what would you change? And he said, I'd spend more time with my wife, and I'd spend more time with my kids when they were little. And I was like, damn, like this dude is rich as fuck. He worked for the past 10 years at Google. Like he's set for life. And he is like all knowing about this AI stuff. And like that's what he would change is just spending more time with his wife, spending more time with his kids when they were little. And so that's another reason why I run the block week is because like I want that time now as I work my way to 70. And I think if I run this model, I can play the game till I'm 70 because I don't get burnt out. So maybe that'll help you. Maybe that'll help somebody else out there that is burnt out right now because I know the business, bro. It's middle of the summer. This is the summer scaries come in, and it's just like I'm gonna burn this place to the fucking ground, right? Yeah,
Light it up.
I'm calling the insurance guy right now. It's like you have those thoughts, and that's okay. It's okay that you have those thoughts. Again, you gotta be able to just put that fire over in the trash can and keep smiling and walking your way through the day.
That's it. Well, I've heard
Because
3 or 4 reels come out of that one, so you've hit your real
I
quota.
appreciate that,
Yeah, you hit
man.
your real
I
quota
get
there.
going, man. I'm sorry. You know how I am, Trevor. You know me long enough. I can't help myself.
Dude, we're in an hour and 3 minutes. I try to keep it at an hour. I think we could
Let's
keep
wrap
going,
her
but
up.
I really appreciate you,
I'm
man.
I'm still like I'm just building my lungs for when Joe Rogan finds Coach Carroll. And he's like, that's an interesting motherfucker. Let's have him come out here from Kentucky, and I'll be like, Joe, 3 hours, baby. Let's do it. I'm locked in. Get the split lit up and rolling, boy. Let's do it.
Dude, I hope you make it to the Joe Rogan show. That'd be
I'll
incredible.
get there. I'll get there, man.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Well, you started at the Through the Noise show with Trevor Steele. Actually, that's not true either, but you were here.
I was here, man. I was here. Happy to be on your podcast. Happy to be with your audience. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, sounds like it's available on Amazon, but if you want to go to hunterheadgame.com and pre-register for your copy, I appreciate it. Helps get it out in front of more people. And also there's some bonuses and some cool stuff that we've got planned for people that pre-register that once the book officially launches in October, we'll get some of those bonuses out to you. But Trevor, I got to go, man. I got to go call my publicist and my publisher and see what the fuck's going on.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.